It sounds like what you're wanting is to begin changing the direction of these conversations from putting up to it to pushing back on it a little bit. And part of it is having a conversation with her that says, hey, listen, I've noticed a pattern. Do you remember when you said, and I'd make it very specific. Remember when you said this thing about my décolletage and about the chair and about the house? I'm realizing that I'm actually finding that way of being together painful. And I've been trying to laugh it off and kind of roll with it because I don't want to have a conflict with you about it. But it's building up, and I just want to name it and be really clear about a couple of things. It really matters to me the impact that I'm having on you. And if there's something that I'm doing where you're feeling embarrassed or you're feeling uncomfortable or you're feeling awkward or you're wanting to raise my awareness around something, I am here for that conversation. I'm absolutely happy to have that conversation. I can't keep taking it with barbs and daggers and judges. I don't want to hear it as a critique and a judgment about what is wrong with me anymore. If you want to tell me about you and you want to tell me about how something is impacting you and we want to have a real conversation about that, I'm here for it. But I'm no longer here for all of these little digs. I don't know if you mean them jokingly. I'm trying to understand if it's a way that you're trying to connect with me. And I'm also trying to understand if it's a way that you're trying to tell me about something. I'm kind of putting it on the table. What's it like to hear me say that to you? So that would be one approach, right? Is more big picture, more a change that's happening in me that I want to update you about with a little bit of guessing of what might be happening and an invitation to tell me more about what you're meaning when you do these things. And then you can see what's the temperature of that conversation and where it might go from there. That's a gentle way of beginning to assert a boundary and kind of putting someone on notice that I'm going to be changing my moves and you're going to notice a change. And I want you to have some context for where it's coming from in me. And I want to reassure you that I do care about the impact that things are having on you. I just can't have that conversation in this way anymore. Now I want to add a couple more things. Her well-being is never going to come from rearranging you. And this is true for all of us. Every one of us, our well-being is not dependent on everybody else being different, but that is in the consciousness that we are swimming in, that the way that we get ourselves comfortable is by giving everybody else feedback on how they all need to be different so that we can be more comfortable. So let's just notice that dynamic because that's part of what you're feeling. An unconscious assumption that when she has a feeling, the fix is to change you. Your work on the other end of that is knowing that you're not doing anything wrong, checking in with yourself, whether the thing you're doing is in alignment with your own values, your own sense of integrity. You are the one who decides which things you're doing you want to adjust out of care for someone else. So you also need to unhook the part of you that feels like you're an object to meet other people's needs and that you somehow have to show up in a way that makes everybody else comfortable all the time. We've got to unhook that piece because to the degree that is at play, we're going to take this very personally and we're going to be really hurt by it. And then we're going to feel defensive about it. So that's some of our work if we're on the other end of that. The other side is we might defend against that so intensely and reactively that we never can take in any feedback that anybody ever is giving us. And we don't give a shit how we impact anybody else. And we put it back on them and we say, that's all your problem and not mine, which is also not relational. So there's these pieces as well to sort of be holding in our awareness as we approach these kinds of conversations. And I'm bringing it up to you because I just want us to find a way that works for both of us that we can do this differently. You know, I'm inviting you to care about the impact that it's having on me. You don't have to say that directly, but you can know in yourself that's what you're doing. You're inviting her to care about the impact. You're not assuming she would just know the impact, especially if you've been rolling with it. She might think it's fine. You're updating her. You're revealing some of your vulnerability. You're giving her information she may or may not have. And you're inviting her to shift something with you in a way that will actually work for both of you. You're also very subtly calling her into more authenticity because when people do a lot of this, they're trying in code to tell us something that they don't know how to tell us directly, and they don't know if they can tell us directly. So they are telling us things indirectly all the time. And then we're left in the quagmire of misinterpretation between and all the filters and frames through which we're listening to one another. So it's an invitation to, is there something really going on? Is there a way, are you feeling uncomfortable? So that there's actually some empathy under that, right? If you have it. Are you feeling uncomfortable? Is there something happening for you that I should be more aware of? Are you feeling self-conscious? What's happening for you? That's also an invitation for her to be more self-connected in this so that she can begin owning and being responsible for her subjectivity instead of experiencing herself as a victim of what everybody else is and isn't doing around her. If somebody said to me, "You're just inappropriate," I would say, "I don't know what that means." So it's really, really important to you that we live according to agreed upon norms and assumptions, and we don't do anything outside of coloring outside of the lines. That makes you feel really uncomfortable. And it is really important to you that everybody follow the rules and that everybody know what the assumptions are, and that we meet our needs for safety and belonging, and we don't rock the boat. It's really hard for you when I do something that feels to you like I'm rocking the boat or coloring outside the lines a little bit. She wants you to conform. You can empathize with that. You can see her for who she is. She can be that person. Those are her values. She can have all of that. And remember, for you, you just take that in and you decide, are these my values or not? Do I like, you may say, "Honey, I am a person who will color outside of the lines all day long, and I know that makes you uncomfortable and I care about it. Let's figure out how we're going to hold this together, because I am a boat rocker and I know you like a stable boat. This is a difference between us." So to the degree you can hold it like that, you need to know who you are. Now, if you also prefer coloring in the lines and you are a lot like her, then your reaction might be, "Oh, I didn't realize that was an assumption. Thank you for letting me know. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that." That's actually useful feedback, but I wanted you to give me that feedback in a nicer way, because I go into shame and then I feel self-conscious. And I mean, it really depends on who you are in response to who she is. And you stand there and you say, "And I realize that some of the ways that I do that sometimes make you feel uncomfortable. And I want to figure out a way that we can hold that together. And I'm not available to be judged for that anymore. I'm going to be doing countercultural things for the rest of my life, and you're going to be feeling uncomfortable. What are we going to do about that?
Yeah.
Neither of us is wrong." And then you're just getting clear on how you would like to be treated. And you're asking her how she would like to be treated in the face of this difference. I find them painful and hurtful, and I try to laugh them off, but the dosage is
And
reached the threshold, and I need that dynamic to shift now.